What's up, guys? Bears football is officially back. Preseason action with the Houston Texans. I wanted to give you guys my instant reactions and takeaways after the game. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The Bears win, leading 21 to 17 with just 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. The game was suspended due to lightning and weather. There was a crazy thunderstorm approaching Canton, Ohio, so I'm taking this as a Bears victory. One of my favorite things I saw in this one was our first chance getting to see Shane Waldron dial things up. He had this offense cooking at times. My favorite was the 2 minute drive before halftime. It was a 5 play, 72-yard drive that only took 58 seconds off the clock. Even in a preseason, Luke Getsy probably would have came out, ran the ball 3 times, or taken a knee. This was an answer to a long Texans drive, and it was refreshing to see from a Bears offensive coordinator. We came right back down the field, scored a touchdown to keep the game close. It was good to see Shane Waldron calling plays, even if it was just preseason. On offense, Tyson Bagent was the starting quarterback. We had Tommy Sweeney out there as our fullback or second tight end, and Steven Carlson was the starting tight end. Roshan Johnson got the start at running back, but Khalil Herbert did get a lot of reps as well. And it was Tyler Scott and Collin Johnson at wide receiver, as Velus Jones Jr. got the night off. As far as the offensive line, there were a couple of interesting developments. From left to right, the starters went like this: Larry Borum at left tackle, Jatiri Carter at left guard, Jerome Carvin at center, Matt Pryor at right guard, and Jake Curran at right tackle. The first thing I noticed was Jerome Carvin at center over Doug Kramer, but then Matt Pryor playing right guard. I talked about this earlier in the week. It's something I noticed during OTAs as well. Pryor is the guy that most people expected to beat out Larry Borum for the swing tackle job, but he continues getting reps inside at guard. And then Jake Curran, the guy I expected to be playing guard, was actually out at right tackle. That was an interesting development, and something I'll continue to monitor throughout camp. But right now, Larry Borum seems to be locked in as our swing tackle. Stay tuned for more on that. Tyson Bagent would only play 2 series. Brett Rippon would come in and lead this offense down the field with a heavy dose of Khalil Herbert to get us back in the game. Rippon would end up throwing 3 touchdowns and looked really good before Austin Reed came in for just 1 series. Unfortunately, the game got suspended right after Austin Reed got in the game. Probably the most disappointing thing of the night for me. I was excited to see Austin Reed play. He really didn't get his opportunity yet. He was 2 for 2 for just 10 yards. That kind of felt like a wasted opportunity. Brett Rippon has already been in the NFL a while. Austin Reed could have got some really valuable reps tonight. Now, Brett Rippon did have a really good game and may end up winning the third quarterback job. He went 11 for 15 for 166 yards and 3 touchdown passes. 2 of them went to Collin Johnson, who I want to talk about. He made up for a big drop that he had early in the game by catching a TD pass to cap off their first scoring drive. But his best catch came later, making an insane highlight reel catch on the sideline that was easily the play of the day. The crazy thing is he would make the exact same catch later in the third quarter, too, down the sideline. But this time it got overturned as the ball came loose and it was ruled incomplete. He also just missed a one-handed catch on the side of the end zone. But Collin Johnson was easily the most impressive player of the night. He showcased his jump ball skills on full display, and he had a big night, finishing the game with 3 catches for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns. They have officially called the game while I'm recording this. Bears win, baby. But tight end Tommy Sweeney would also have a big game, catching the second TD pass of the game from Brett Rippon. He finished with 3 catches for 47 yards and a score. Undrafted tight end Brendan Bates also had 2 catches for 47 yards himself, making a great spinning catch over the middle of the field. This Waldron offense does feature tight ends a lot, something that's overlooked with how much wide receiver talent we have. Let's move on to the defense. The starting defensive line was Daniel Hardy, Byron Cowart, Zach Pickens, and Dominique Robinson. And then our two starting linebackers were Amen Ogbongbemiga and Micah Baskerville. Starters were Greg Stroman Jr. along with Jalen Jones and Leon Jones. Austin Booker would come in on third downs. He showed off a nice rip move on his first snap of NFL action. It looked like he played a part in a sack and forced fumble late in the third quarter as well. I'll have to review the tape on this one as they didn't show the replay. According to ESPN, Byron Cowart was credited for the sack. He had one sack and three tackles for loss. Defensive tackle Cowart had a strong showing. Another disappointing note, though, was I was not impressed with what I saw from Zach Pickens. I'm going to have to check the all 22 on this one as well, as I obviously wasn't able to watch him every rep live, but I saw a few reps where he seemed to be losing, and it just didn't look great, and I never seen him make a splash play. Kareem did have a nice stop on the first drive. It looked like Booker and Khalid Kareem were the defensive ends entering the game on third downs and in passing situations. Kareem and Daniel Hardy both got reps at defensive end. As far as the touchdown scores we gave up, both were linebackers in coverage getting beat. Amen Ogbongbemiga slipped in coverage on the first one, allowing a touchdown on the opening drive. And then linebacker Carl Jones, who entered the game pretty early, he allowed the second touchdown catch, allowing Cam Akers to get wide open. The guy who stood out early to me was Elijah Hicks. I love Elijah Hicks. He had a huge open field tackle, saving a potential big touchdown run. He looked decent in coverage and had a few more stops as well. Undrafted corner Leon Jones had a near interception of Davis Mills, but then a couple of plays later, he got beat for a big gain. He looked to be pretty up and down in this one. And then as far as the new kickoffs, so far it didn't seem as exciting as I thought, but it did bring returns back to the game. On the very first kickoff, it was Greg Stroman Jr. and Tyler Scott, both deep. But it was Tyler Scott returning the opening kickoff to the 26 before he got leveled. And then on the second kick return, Tyler Scott would take another big hit. I think we need to end the Tyler Scott as kick returner experiment. I'd like to see Velus Jones Jr., Ian Wheeler, or Khalil Herbert returning kickoffs. Meanwhile, DeAndre Carter made his debut as a punt returner. He looked comfortable fielding the ball and juking defenders. He would only return one, and then it was Dante Pettis coming in as the second team punt returner. Pettis would look good on his first rep, but unfortunately, he completely muffed his second opportunity. I will note that it was raining, but the ball went right through his hands. Disappointing for Dante Pettis, who also missed the reception on offense. He just had a bad night, and if this first game is any indication, Collin Johnson should have jumped ahead of him on the depth chart. It's good to be celebrating a Bears victory, winning 21-17 over the Houston Texans, but I did want to mention something with Khalil Herbert. A lot of people seem to make a big deal that he was playing in this game. I don't get it. Some of the same people who were mad Caleb wasn't playing thought it was crazy that Khalil Herbert was in the game. I love Herbie, but we have to remember he's our third string running back. And on top of that, our fourth and fifth string guys are both out right now with injuries, as Travis Homer and Ian Wheeler have both been missing practice. That's why we signed Demetric Felton, most likely, and another reason why Herbert and Roshan had to get reps in this game. But honestly, it's just good to have Bears football back. We got to see Caleb Williams on the sideline, and he did an interview. I will be watching the tape for this. It does suck that Austin Reed and Theo Benedict and some of these guys that I wanted to watch didn't get very many reps, but we should get to see them for the rest of preseason. Thanks to everybody who watches. I'll be back tomorrow as I'm going to be studying the tape from this one. But let me know how you guys feel. Football season is back. The first episode of Hard Knocks is Tuesday night. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.